lost so many friends, neighbors, and family members this year. We've lost quite a few community leaders in Southeast Michigan. Jewel Ware of the Wayne County Commission. We just this week lost Dan Paletko, the mayor of Dearborn Heights. And we lost two leaders who were frequent guests of this program, Wayne County Sheriff Benny Napoleon and community leader and the voice and face of Detroit 67, Marlo Stoudemeyer. They are among so many caught up in the awful storm of COVID-19. But death has been excruciating in a new way over the last year. So many people dying all alone, and then so many of the bereaved grieving all alone. And with that in mind, I wanted to revisit just a part of what I think was perhaps the most engaging conversation all year on this program, one with the Michigan undertaker and poet and writer, Thomas Lynch.
Mortality calls us to one another to hold and behold and embrace and gather. And when someone is dying, we want to be at the bedside. We think of it as a good death.
Yeah. We also, I think, we have seen many times over the years people who die in sort of mass ways, people who die in wartime, the many that we lost, of course, on 9/11. But I often wonder about the way that we have of dealing with knowing that we're sort of just a number, that a lot of people we're just being grouped in with what a lot of other people are going through.
It's so wise of you to see that as a deep wound to those who are dying and those who survive that death in the family. And because it takes away, Devin, one of the essential elements of a good death and a good funeral is the element of story, our story, which not only includes our biography, what we did this day or that day, but it includes our ancestors, where we came from, what we believe in, what we hold dear, what gives us hope. Our religious and our faith impulses are all included in a story that in this particular pestilence, we're not allowed to tell because we can't gather to share it with one another. And it's such a deep wound to the impulses that grief calls us to get together and to commune with one another. It's, as my nephew Patty Lynch said, adding insult to injury. And the injury is deep, the insult is keen.
Yeah. Over the years, you've written and talked a lot about the idea of a good death. And I think that is a concept that we, as human beings in the 21st century, struggle with a lot.
Well, the numbers on mortality are convincing, aren't they? They hover right around 100%. But we've all seen, as you were talking about just a moment ago, we've all seen individual deaths that are overwhelmed by the circumstances, the act of terrorism, or the school shooting, or the pandemic, or the plane crash, or whatever the anomaly adds to our mortality. Sometimes we lose the individual stories in it, and it's a great regret.
Let's move to the other side of the casket, if you will. And I'm really wondering what kind of real crisis we have coming with people who are not being allowed to grieve in the way that I think many people expect to get to do, whether it's being at somebody's bedside as they're passing away, or if it's just being able to come together for anything from an Irish wake to a very formal, gathering in a church. I really wonder what kind of toll this is taking on our own psychologies.
My father, the bed of heaven to him, may he rest in peace, used to say, grief will have its way with you. You can pay the psychologist, you can pay the clergy, you can pay the bartender, but you will pay. Grief will have its pound. I mean, grief is really the other side of the coin of love, and it comes calling, doesn't it, for the tax that is due on loving people. So people have said to me for years, it must be very difficult to see people in their grief and bereavement, and it is. It is a dismal trade, but you also see the deep attachments and real love we bear for one another, and the kindness and the courtesy that humans do to and for and with one another. So the time will come round when we can, exercise the large muscle investments we have to make in our dead, the heart and the shoulders and the shovel work and that type of thing. In the meantime, the bereavement letter, which used to be a formal ritual in Victorian times, maybe we should find again the putting pen to paper to condole and console with one another.
And we all fervently hope and pray that the losses are far fewer in 2021. Thanks so much for being here today. Have a great week as we start 2021. Meet the Press coming up next, and we'll see you next time on Flashpoint.